Awesome. So we're streaming live on, Facebook. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Periscope, and the Twitter people, and everybody on YouTube. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for hitting that like button. Let us know that you actually give a shit about what we're doing, which is great. We're trying to, bring in, connect all the different people from around the world that love West Ham and just shoot the shit, really. That's what this is, AHTV and Friends is about. In the chat room tonight, I see Neil and Essex Hammer in there already. What's up, guys? If you want to join the conversation, we'll pull up some comments as we go along and comment on them this evening. But we're going to try to keep it as positive as possible, which is going to be kind of tricky. That's why I brought in the big guns tonight. I brought in Ray next to me and Mr. Charlie Walsh and David Lang from Boston. So, yeah, hopefully Irish Tommy will wake up and pop on in. He was welcome to join us as well, and maybe he just overslept again. But, I see Liam in the chat room too. What's going on, Liam? And, let's start things off with Jesus Christ. Do we actually sign somebody? Is it going to be happening?
Yeah, it's like he's coming for medical. His name is Tomas Souček. He's a Czech player. He plays for the Czech national team. And Slavia Prague, I think, is his team. They have the red and white kits with the star on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be a holding midfielder, similar to Declan Rice, but also he's kind of more precise, short passing. He's a little taller than your average midfielder. And he's a win it and then pivot and pass guy, but he does have 6 goals on the season. His short passing stats are good. But you always have to make a step up to the Premier League. So that's his scouting report.
What I like about him is that he's tall. He's about Allaire's height, right? As far as I know, 6'4"-ish, something like that. And I feel that we are definitely lacking in height in the squad, other than our defense, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be just nice to have that extra tall guy in there that might be able to help.
No, and our midfield is also very lightweight. So he's heavy, and he wins aerial duels too. So
that's what I'm saying. I'm really excited about that. If this is true, so Mr. Charlie Walsh, what have you heard? Is this thing true? You think is this going to happen?
Yeah, I don't believe it until it happens. I don't believe it until he's in a shirt, holding it at the London Stadium, talking about bubbles. Bring back Jordan. Yeah. But I mean, it's exciting in a sense. I don't know much about him. I signed him on PES once and Pro Evo, but that says nothing about the player, so I can't actually talk about him as a footballer. But what I can say is that the things I do know, for example, that he got voted Czech, the player of the season in the league last year. Stuff like that makes it exciting. Prague gave him a 5-year contract in the summer, clearly to ward off interest and to say, well, if someone is going to buy him, they're going to have to pay money for him. So stuff like that is exciting about him. I don't know anything about him as a footballer. Like I said, I've signed him on Pro Evo. If you want to know what he's like on that, I can tell you. But it's nice to see us actually investing in the position. Is it enough? Is he the right player? I don't know. We'll find out. But it would be nice if on Wednesday night he can get paraded out and then might have a little bit of a positive atmosphere before we get absolutely whacked. But yeah. Once he's holding up the shirt, then I will believe it.
Yeah, same here. I think so too. Ray, what are your thoughts? You heard anything about this guy?
I've just watched a few things on YouTube. Nothing too comprehensive. He does all the right things, but I could look good on YouTube if you give me half hour.
That's true. You do look great.
Yeah, might take a little bit longer. But yeah. Some of the things he's doing all the work. It looks like he's quite pacey as well. He's meant to be a bit of a box-to-box.
Which is what everybody's been crying for. I mean, everybody who's saying, okay, we need a striker and we need defense. But the vast majority of the people are saying, no, we need a box-to-box and a striker, a box-to-box and a defender, a left back or a right back or whatever. But it's always been box-to-box. So you think that maybe this guy... if we do sign him, which looks like
that's what we need. We need someone like that.
What does that show? Is my point. Is that I want to know, is this David's choice? Not David, Jesus Christ. Never mind, I'm sorry. There's so many fucking Davids. Is this Moyes' choice? Is this Moyes' choice, or is this You don't think so? No?
No,
Zero
this is a
chance.
little present, isn't it?
Zero chance.
Little present, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the one thing we knew about Moyes before from last time was that he doesn't like signing a player unless he's seen him. And unless it's spent the last 18 months watching the Czech First Division, I'm going to hazard a guess that he hasn't seen him play in person. He might have watched the Chelsea Europa League match on the television, but I don't think it's his by any stretch
You
of
don't think
imagination.
Jordan Hugo's uncle or brother or whatever it was, brother-in-law?
David's brother, who
Yeah, you
Jordan
don't think?
was dating.
Yeah, that's the guy. Yeah. So you don't think he's over there checking out Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, whatever?
No, I doubt it. I watch a lot of random football, and I've never watched a Czech First Division game in my life.
I haven't either.
And I watch some random football sometimes.
And I watch a lot of leagues.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, no, but it's almost certainly just something we can get in now. There's not that many days left of the transfer window.
That's true.
And the fact it's happened very quickly suggests something happened. So,
but for the fact that we've already had multiple offers turned down this whole month, but especially recently when with Long, whatever his name is, Aaron Long, is that the guy's name?
The New York City player.
Aaron Long, yeah. I think Matty Cash. We bid for Matty Cash
too. We got to. We underbid pretty much everybody significantly. So for the fact that we're trying to pull away the guy who is the number one in the league of Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic League, whatever, and that doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know, but if we did, give them the right amount of money or the right amount of money that they need for someone of that caliber, supposedly.
I mean, yeah, we spent money, which is weird. I didn't expect us to. Everything that's been the rumor is that we were going to get loan here, loan there, loan this, loan that, and the fact we've gone out and supposedly signed him on permanent for 20 million euros or whatever it is,
fucking bananas.
It's weird. It's again, it suggests
we've had numerous loan deals just rejected. Numerous.
Yeah. Well, I think with some of the other players, it was West Ham wanted a loan and the other teams wanted a permanent signing. So
yeah, but the fact that we didn't just fucking fork with cash, we do it for this guy.
Maybe it's the difference between 16 million and 23 million. I don't know.
All right, so I'm starting to go negative. So let's see if we can get this positive right. David, so you think that so if this thing does go off, you think he'd fit straight in? You think he's that type of guy?
I think he'd take a while to settle. He plays in a completely different league with a completely different style of play, less physical, so his physical attributes don't allow him to dominate as much. The scouting report says he's positionally savvy, so I think that will be a big help, to jump into a new league if you're positionally savvy. But to me, just look how long it took Fornals to settle in. He's not even completely settled. Even though he didn't get a lot of game time to start. I think all the leagues are very different, and especially the Premier League is probably the most difficult one to adapt to. So
is the Czech League as soft as La Liga?
I actually don't know that. I don't know if it has a reputation for softness or not. I just know probably the players are a little smaller. You know what I mean? It's probably easier to muscle player out of the way. Czech would be my theory. You know what I mean?
The way I always think about it is if you draw a Czech team in the Champions League, you're not going to have an easy ride of it. I can't tell you about physicality, but
that's a good point.
Or even the Euros. I mean,
yeah,
they usually do fairly well.
And we haven't got time for him to not be able to jump straight in there. We need fresh legs. You can't rely on Noble.
Yeah, so it'd be more like a rotation thing, I suppose, especially in the beginning.
He could also spell Declan Rice because he's a holding midfielder who gets forward sometimes, not like a true box-to-box midfielder. So if Declan Rice was tiring, he could sub him in one game. So even though it'd be more ideal having him on the midfield.
Yeah, Declan Rice showed that he can't go any further up the pitch than holding mid. Really, I mean, he tried and he gave the effort, but he's just his capabilities is just not there. Right? I mean, or is it just?
Yeah, I think he still needs to work on it. I also think the players he's around doesn't help him that much.
Yeah.
Sorry, trying to stay positive.
I'm trying to. Yeah, this is. It's like playing Monopoly drunk.
And a silver lining.
I think maybe the positive you can draw from it is bringing a lot of the fans together. It's increasing our fan culture, even though they're being negative. hanging out together, doing a protest together, communicating a lot. I think that's kind of a silver lining if you look at it that way.
And don't forget, by having him in here, we're going to be getting rid of Sanchez because there's not enough players.
Yeah, there won't be room for him.
So, bye-bye, Sanchez.
I mean, I looked at his, almost all of my knowledge, apart from my Pro Evo knowledge, comes from his Wikipedia page. I've been doing research, guys. I've been working really hard at it. And one of the things I did notice is that as much as I'm aware that he is a sort of more defensive-minded midfielder, although whether he gets box-to-box or not, he seems to get assists. I don't know how he gets them. I don't know if he takes free kicks or corners or what. I don't know how he does them, but he seems to get them, which suggests that he has a little bit more about him going forward than, say, Declan Rice would. It's just nice to see we might have something more in that central column of the pitch. Out wide, we are still in deep doo-doo. But if we can just stop them wandering through our midfield, then that's only a positive. And with Mark getting older, he will get more and more game time. But like Ray said, he doesn't really have the time to not hit the ground running. He's just got to start and go. He has literally no choice with the matter. Otherwise, and he must think he's up for it. Otherwise, he wouldn't take the deal. Being frank about it, if he knows what he's coming into, he's not thinking he's coming into some all rosy team that are going to be fighting for the Europa League this season or something. He knows he's going to be in for a battle, and if he is a tough tackling midfielder, sort of destroyer type from one of the Eastern European leagues, then you would suspect he has the mentality to at least have a bit of a go.
Yeah, that's what they do have. They definitely have this switch that. They just flick when they go on the pitch. That there's like a lack of fear, and they definitely think that they're up for it always, whether they're talented or not.
Was Thomas Repka from the Czech Republic too? Did I get that right?
He might have even been from one of the Prague teams. I'd have to double check that. In fact, I'm going to double check that. But I think...
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So apparently, Neil had mentioned that he played on the Czech team that beat England in the Euros. It's always not an easy thing to do. I mean, yeah, England doesn't really win the Euros, but
all right, Tim. Okay, we tried. We went there. Okay, we did our best. We went a bit wild for a bit. We almost got somewhere with it. Listen,
just like West Ham, they pick the shittiest managers all the fucking time, And
there's not that many English managers to pick. To be fair,
I quite like Southgate.
I bring Sam.
I that's the worst thing about it is I quite like him as well. And if you'd asked me before the tournament, I would have.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
He's trash. But now I'm like, oh, he's all right. He's a good lad. No, I like him. He's got a waistcoat. It's all great.
So if you're a player, you'd actually listen to him.
I mean,
if I was a player and that little guy, not little guy, but the guy who looks like a rat was like, yip, 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 at me, and I'd like, no, I could probably take you out, dude. Like,
if we're talking about the Euros specifically, look at how well we did on our set pieces, and they worked really hard on that. And that was something that they've been practicing. They've even been doing some new stuff for this summer. And he's gone to the Super Bowl. And he's gone to learn bits and pieces that they do in their American teams. So he is learning new stuff, which I think excites players.
Cute. That's cute. I just think that they listen. I really, really, really wish that bullshit didn't go down with Big Sam, because I felt that he would have been perfect for England, and he's a commanding presence. That's a guy I wouldn't fuck with.
Yeah, but he's boring. At least Southgate brings a bit of banter about it. I mean, he had Jesse Lingard looking like Ronaldinho for a hot minute.
Listen, I was so excited to see that's a supposedly boring guy with amazing talent for once in his life, to see what he could actually do with it.
I don't necessarily disagree.
He never had the chance. He had one match, and yes, he's got a perfect record. But,
listen. He selected Mikel Antonio for England. That means he definitely had something wrong with him. So, Southgate all the way. Also, Repka did play for one of the Prague teams. Played for Sparta Prague. I did a bit of a Google.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, you were bang on with that. I thought you did as well. I can't remember which one because there's two. There's Sparta and
Slavia.
Yeah, the one we've just signed him from. So he played for the other one, who used to be the best, who are no longer the best. There you go. Some Czech football knowledge for you. You're welcome, everyone. That's what I bring to the table.
Was that Wikipedia?
No. What? I don't know what you're talking about.
I like
Let's quickly close that tab.
I like the transfer market website. That's really
it's decent.
decent
There's a lot.
website,
There's a
especially
lot of
when
good
you look
resources, guys. I don't know any of them. I don't use them. It's all just up here. All just up here. Who scored? Never heard of it, mate. All up here. I'm on it all day, all night.
So yeah, here's a good one for you guys. Okay, so this is from an hour ago, and this is Yahoo Sports. Okay, I don't know if you guys saw this one yet. It says that West Ham want $44 million midfielder, and they say dollar because it's Yahoo. $44 million, a Uruguayan midfielder, Nandez.
Never
Not even a striker. They're looking at another midfielder an hour ago. I mean,
We were linked to him a couple of days ago.
What team does he play for?
Somewhere in
What's that?
Argentina, I think. I think it was, or maybe it was Boca Juniors. I can't remember which one it was. It was an Argentinian team, I think, or it was either Brazilian or Argentinian. Can't remember which, but my guess would be Boca. But he's a box-to-box midfielder.
yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I'm just trying to say, like, who else is out there that we're linked with right now that hasn't been just squashed already? Like, hasn't been fucking, put out already. And there's another one that says we're interested in Papa Sheik Diop. Anybody? Another midfielder?
Doesn't he play in
Leon?
Spain?
Pretty sweet name. Papa Sheik. Speaking of wrestling, Papa Sheik Diop.
Yeah, Diop.
Oh, mate. The Sheik. Yes. I'm happy. Bring him in. I can't say what he said in that one interview because it was quite bad, but, bring him in. Get him involved.
Yeah, so basically, is there anybody else? I mean, anybody else you guys have heard of recently in the past couple of days that, because so far all I'm reading is midfielders, and yeah, we've already supposedly signed one almost. So I don't think we're going to go grab another midfielder if this deal goes through.
I know we're looking at a right back. And we tried looking at a guy from Nottingham Forest, but they wanted too much money, so now they're looking in Europe.
Yeah, well, there was that guy, then the American guy as well that we.
We were linked with X wrote about the Croatian right back. What's his name? Plays for Atletico Madrid. I can't remember his name for the life of me. But we were linked with him, but apparently they said no. We're clearly looking for it, and with the Spurs one as well. This afternoon, Walker Peters that came out as well. That's never going to happen in a million years. We'll see. I mean, we're clearly looking at right backs as well, and the other one is supposed to be a striker in it. So I suspect any midfield links will disappear the second he is holding the shirt, because we're just not going to sign two. You're right. There's zero chance that's going to happen unless something insane happened.
Essex Hammer posts here that what the hell? A Tottenham player? You think that would ever happen?
Well, that's the thing. Walker Peters is supposed to be. Because Walker Peters is at Tottenham right now, and he's supposed to be. We were supposed to have asked him for a loan. That's what X said. He asked for a loan, and the Guardian wrote about it straight after as well, or straight before. But I think that's been turned down. So,
I actually like this. Again, I only researched his stats and then linked with his YouTube videos, which doesn't really do much about YouTube videos. But I tend to gravitate more toward the transfer market and their stats and their injury records and everything else. And this guy Duncan actually looked pretty good. But again, if we're going to be signing this Susek guy, whatever his name is, Suchek, whatever, it doesn't look like we're after any other midfielders, which is a shame. Listen, I really don't care. All I care is that we sign at least somebody, that maybe that one person might come into training and fire everybody. Not light a fire, but just pretty much show up and say, hey, like, I'm fucking doing things this way, and I'm here for your fucking job, so you better step up. I don't know, hopefully, but
just a bit of competition in that team would be needed. Yeah,
a little something, because right now none of these fucking guys give a shit, right? Not right now. Can't say none. Maybe there's a couple, but not enough. Clearly not enough. So what's the word? Anybody have any updates on Ben Johnson? Because I don't. I'm wondering, like, I heard he's healthy again. Are we going to use him ever?
Don't know, man.
No?
I don't know.
Because now there's a new manager, so I don't know what his outlook on him is compared to the old manager Pellegrini. We used him once, I think, against Man City, or once or twice.
So I
don't know what the might be.
Well, with Fredericks being
my window's open? Oh.
No, I said with Fredericks being out, thank God.
Oh, sorry.
I mean,
there's that positivity you wanted, Tim.
Yeah. See, I said
beating a man while he's physically injured. I love it. So positive. I mean, maybe he's.
I wouldn't be
the fact
opposed
that we're
to
looking
it.
for a right back clearly shows that they're desperate for one. So probably, if he's fit, he might get a chance. And let's be real, David brought back, Moyes brought back Oxford and Cullen last time just to see him. So he might just lob him in just to have a look at whatever, to see what he's like in an in-game situation. I don't know. I don't know whether he's fit or anything about what's going on with him, but can he be much worse? I don't know. I don't think so. So why not?
So let's ask Charlie. Is it even possible for us to recall Mr. Big George at this stage? Are we past any window there, or are we still?
Listen, whether we're past the window or not, hashtag recall Big George is a state of mind. Okay, whether we're past the window of physically bringing him back to the club or not, I don't know. Probably, maybe, I don't know. But you know, when we get relegated next year, he'll be banging him in the Championship as he is now. Just big goals all day. I don't know. I don't know what the situation is. Like, I know we had the chance to bring back Dean Garner and we chose not to do it. So I don't know. The thing is even if he did, well, who's he going to get in ahead of? Like, he's not going to get in ahead of Haller. He's not going to get in ahead of Yeti. Probably not. It's a weird situation, man.
I think he should get ahead of Yeti.
I don't know. The thing is, no one's going to succeed. Okay, I'm going to drop the positivity just for a split second. No one is going to succeed because David Moyes doesn't know what he's doing. My man has a £45 million striker sitting there and he goes, do you know what he should be? Completely and utterly isolated up front. Oh, that's a good idea, Dave. That's the one, bro. He's going to bang him in now. Like, bring in Jordan Hugill, play the long ball to him. Who's he going to knock it down to? It's not complex. Bringing the level back up. I quite like the thing is about Ajeti, right? And I didn't see the West Brom game. I was at work, so I've seen the highlights, but I don't know. I can't talk about his individual performance or anything. But what I will say is that he has succeeded before, and it was an educated punt at a low price to buy him. Whether he goes on to become this incredible record-breaking striker, I think is whatever it just is. But if you want someone to play alongside Haller, he sort of fits the bill. Whether that happens or not, I don't think we can judge after 1.5 games. But at least in the games, the time I saw him play, he was very energetic and looked like he wanted it despite not doing it. And that is something that's be said about no one in the squad, really.
Against West Brom, he definitely moved around quite a bit. But what he was most excited to do was to intercept passes that were not even intended for him by his own teammates. He did that like 3 or 4 times, at least 3 times I counted, which blew chances that, you know, Haller was angled like right behind him. You know what I mean? And it was probably meant for Haller, you know, that close to the net, and probably would have smashed him in. But then now Haller looks stupid because Ajeti made him look stupid, but no one's blaming Ajeti for that shit. They're just blaming Haller for not scoring goals, even though, well, he had 3 opportunities stolen from him by his own fucking teammate, at least. So what I've noticed from him, even in the cup matches that he performed in, he just is like, how do you put it? You know how like a squirrel is like, I don't know, fucking a step above, like not a step above, like a step ahead of everybody else. You know, they're super quicker, like they're just on this whole other fucking planet that we are, or birds too, or whatever. Anyway, he's like fucking a step behind everybody. Like he's very quick, yes, sure, fine, but his mindset, he's fucking like 2 steps behind everybody when it comes down to the Premier League level. His own teammates, even at the fucking cup level, playing against Newport, I think he played in that match too. Was it that or the Oxford match? One or the other. He played like fucking almost 90 minutes. He was just a step behind like everybody mentally. Not like, yes, he can run, he's quick, he can move. He was zipping it all around the fucking place on Saturday, but his judgment is just it's not there, man. I don't see it. But
is it judgment, or is he just trying too hard?
I mean, because when I look at it, I think when you look at, say, Haller and Jovic, for example, that sort of innate connection is A, very rare, but B, also comes over time. You know, it wasn't like you just plop them both on the football pitch and then all of a sudden you have Europa League contenders back in the Champions League like it's nothing. Like that's not sort of what happens. They take time to get there. He's been sidelined so long. Now, obviously, you maybe argue these things should be worked on in training, but at the same time, he's been with Pellegrini. He was playing one up top the entire time and was never changing that for love nor money. He's then been put in with David Moyes, who seems to put less effort into attacking coaching than even Pellegrini did. It's something that can only come over time, I guess. I mean, I can't speak to specifically what that happened in that match. I heard you mention it on the show last night as well. You spoke about the interceptions thing. But is that something that comes over time? Is it a connection thing?
I don't know. Like, is it, or is it? I thought it'd be like more like a training thing where, like at least know where your fucking teammates are, man. Like he doesn't realize that big man's like running maybe.
Is the big man telling
3 yards? Allaire.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Is he telling him? Is he telling him I am there? Like, where's the?
Would he though? Would he telegraph that? Like,
he should do. I mean, let me put it this way: if you're running, say you're Allaire, right? You're the big £45 million man, and Ray is a Yeti because he's just got pace for days. Okay, I've seen this man in real life. He's fast, right? So if you're running behind him, you probably shout to him and say, "Mine, don't touch it. I'm gonna bang this one in." But is it a case of maybe lack of confidence from Allaire, who says maybe I don't have this,
or maybe he was tunnel vision because this was an opportunity, you know?
That's what I mean. There's all these things, they flashpoints in football, and it comes naturally. I would prefer, again, and I can't speak specifically to the West Brom thing, so I should probably shut up. But I would at least prefer someone who's gonna take it and bang it sometimes, than who will always try and leave it for someone else. If you see what I'm saying. And so it's maybe not necessarily a bad thing, even if it didn't work out specifically in that instance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but every time that he fucking intercepted those passes, this many chances worth it. I mean, God,
chances for us come few and far between, and you can't waste it.
You fucked them all up, man. Anyway, so yeah, whatever. Again, I went negative again. I knew that. Listen.
I'm trying. I'm giving it my best.
We don't even have to be honest with you. I don't even know why I said we're going to do that tonight. I was just going to try something different, just for the hell of it, and fuck it, really. You know, whatever. Yeti, I'm not impressed. He pissed me off, and he's on my shit list now, just right next to Frederickson. Village.
Yeah, I will say I agree with both viewpoints. It's tough to just hit the ground running and develop an understanding with your fellow striker. But in an ideal world, I'd rather have Antonio starting over a Yeti with other combinations.
That's what I'm saying.
Than a Yeti.
As much as I'm not, like I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes down to putting Antonio as a striker. I feel that he's not a striker. He doesn't know what it's like to be a striker. He's a fucking winger, and that's what he knows. That's what he's best at. Ripping the ball down the line, fucking putting the ball over the defender and just fucking chasing it down to himself.
Yeah, you're not really playing him as a striker, though. You're playing him as a winger or a forward, not like a true striker.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is a Yeti is actually changing my mind, making me really want.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I beat around the bush, dude. Trust me. So, I think that now maybe that is our only option, especially with Yarmolenko doing whatever the fuck Yarmolenko's doing. That was my mindset, was that, no, Yarmolenko should be the second striker with Allaire. Boom. I mean, he does it for his national team. He bangs in fucking goals galore for his national team as a striker, not a winger, and vice versa with Antonio. He should be a winger, which is what he belongs at. But anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry. Cut you off. Did I cut you off? Did you cut me off? I don't know. Whatever.
No, you didn't cut me off at all.
I think it's one of those things, right? Antonio, you just put him in the most important position because he's the most important player right now. And I hate saying it because I think he's rubbish, but he just is the most important player in that team. The only one who looks like he can make anything when he gets on the ball is him. So I think I agree with David. I would play him ahead of a Yeti, despite the fact I sort of want to see more of a Yeti. If I'm in Moyes' position and I'm like, okay, I need to get points, I need them now, I don't think you can put Antonio in any other position apart from up front with Haller and really go at teams. The problem is we just don't have anyone. We have no one at wide. We just don't, and it's infuriating to watch. But
if he's only gonna, if if he's going to stick to one striker, Charlie, I mean, if for whatever reason he still thinks that, you know, he needs to have his one striker formation, just like Pellegrini did and failed, then Antonio should definitely be on the right wing.
Yeah, of course.
Anybody else. I don't think Miles or anybody. I don't give a shit. Like, I think Antonio should be that guy. But yes, you're right. I feel that he should be a second striker, or he should be near him, near Allaire or something, playing a typical two-striker formation. I think Antonio is it's David's only option. It's Moyes' only option right now, right? I mean, Ray, what do you think?
Yeah, like I think Antonio. I haven't said much, to be fair. Just listening to you guys, but Antonio, he's definitely on the wing. He's not a striker. You can see that when he come on a sub the other day and he was up front with Allaire. Like, he got into the box and then his shot was like a rugby game. It went straight to the bar, his first shot, and I just looked at it. I was like, "That's Antonio."
It's either that or he just gravitates toward the outside, like his position striker. Especially, I think there was like one match where he was the lone striker when Pellegrini was still our manager, and I can't remember what match it was, but basically he kept veering out of the box and he kept staying out of or driving out of the box instead of being that. He keeps forgetting that he's the striker in that situation, because that's his natural. He's naturally a winger, you know. And Anderson, same fucking thing, man. I'm telling you, like, that guy is so deathly afraid of the box, you know. I just really hope that we get him back and he just snaps the fuck out of it, really do. And same thing with Fornells. We need to start playing Fornells, and we need to absolutely get rid of Lanzini. What are your thoughts on Lanzini, everybody? Come on, let's start with Charlie and go around the room.
I mean, we agreed a couple of weeks ago that we'd sell him.
Yes.
And I saw it's just depressing because there is something there, but I said it at the time. It just reminds me of Winston Reid. The guy was incredible at one point, and I thought he's going on to bigger and better things, and that's fair enough. Do you go be a success? But the injuries have just taken its toll, and you can't. David Moyes keeps playing him because he was good the first time he was here, but you just can't at this point. He's been rubbish. He's been completely rubbish since he's come in.
Detrimental.
And to be frank. I don't see a situation in which he should start on the pitch unless we have literally no one else, which we do most of the time, which is great. So, but yeah, no, it's a shame.
Yeah, he shouldn't be getting ahead of Fornells. Definitely not.
Yeah, I agreed with everyone else. I think Fornells should be put in ahead of him. He doesn't look the same after that one injury he had. He's not a physical player to begin with. The attacking threat around him isn't that good. He's a bit of a luxury player who needs other good attacking players around him, which we don't really have right now. So, yeah, I would definitely put Fornells in over Lanzini.
So there's a couple things that are pissing me off. And one of them is, and this is with Lanzini, this is why I'm going to say this. First and foremost, he is always happy and smiling in the training videos, the videos of them at training, leading up to whatever match is coming up, and also the photographs of, you know, West Ham being at training. And that goes for everybody. They're all having a blast. So for us having one of the shittiest training pitches or training grounds in all of England, I mean, seriously, Bill Rickytown supposedly has a better fucking training pitch than we do. And yet they're having a great time. I mean, and yet they're not learning anything because they don't do shit when it comes down to game time, right? That's when they look miserable and scared to death, like they should, like, oh fuck, now it's game time. Oh shit, what do I do now? But you know, for the most part, just pay attention to this next time you guys see a training video or clips of them at training. Watch how happy they are. I know they probably edit it and shit like that, but no, seriously, it's like but they pull out these smiles, and laughs, and pranks and everything else every goddamn time that they show anything from the training pitch. Swear to God. And they're having a great old time. They're so fucking happy. And that it's one of the supposedly shittiest places on earth. You know what I mean?
It is shit.
Or at least the shittiest place in England. And then on top of that, they just don't do anything. But the thing is that Lanzini's always in those fucking photos. I swear to God, watch this. And you can look back, or if you can, just look on their official YouTube channel, whatever. And he's so fucking happy. But then you look at him, and I swear to God, you look at him game day, and he does not like to be there. He's like fucking. I don't know if he's pissed off. He's wearing our uniform and not the other teams, or what. You know, he sees his buddies over there, and he's like, "Oh shit, fuck, they're gonna fuck me up again. You know, I'm gonna look like an idiot," or what his deal is. But he's done, man. He's done. So anyway, that's my rant of the evening.
Yeah, but that's just a lack of confidence, isn't it? Because like you saw it when we had the likes of Joe Cole and Frank Lampard and Michael Carrick. They was who's this, Les Ferdinand come join us, and he's saying in the training ground they were playing some of the best football he's ever played with, and then as soon as they got onto the pitch, they hid. So it might be a case of that again, and and if you look at some of the other training grounds, and this is probably why we're getting so many injuries. Like a lot of the other training grounds have got like the ice baths and all all these different little medical things. I just don't think we've got them in one of our porta cabins.
We don't.
I don't think so.
Having been there.
Yeah.
No.
Have you been there?
Yeah. It's not impressive. I've been there a couple of times for a couple of different reasons. I've been there to see the women's team, and so I've seen that side of it. And then I went there with Gonzo for a what's the video with? I think it was with Heineken or something. The headers thing, where Gonzo did headers with Masuaku, and then we interviewed Antonio, Obiang, and Masuaku. And yeah, it's a deeply, deeply unimpressive location. Some of the local football pitches near me are legitimately as good.
Is it Rush Green or is this the new one?
Rush Green.
Okay.
So the current one, the one they are currently training at, which is Rush Green. And yeah, it's just deeply. I don't know how to explain it. It's like you go there, and I was shocked by the fact it was a Premier League ground. Like it was a Premier League. I was like, it's because we moved there from a different place. From I can't remember the name.
Chadwell Heath, right?
Chadwell Heath. There you go. And I was expecting, this will probably be better, like slightly new facilities, because there were always the rumors about that's where the injuries were coming from and all this other stuff. And it was like, it felt temporary. Everything about it just felt terrible. And if you imagine being a footballer, that's your job, that's your day-to-day life. You go there to train, that is your whole thing. You come to this facility to be the best footballer and sportsman and athlete you can be, and you go there and it's just horrendous. It's ridiculous. And I remember, this was a year ago, so I remember a journalist was talking about West Ham's problems with trying to sign certain players, and they brought up the fact, well, if you took them to the training ground to show them around, the player would probably turn and run, because they can go to League One clubs who have better training grounds than we do. And we're supposed to be this Premier League team. And what's so confusing to me about it is that if you are one of our owners and you think, how can I get the maximum amount out of the least amount of spend, you can make a much better training ground for what you could get one average Premier League footballer for, maybe, not even that. And yet we don't spend that money to get that gain. Yet it's so simple. I don't understand it whatsoever. The place is a shithole, to be frank. It really genuinely is.
Is it a big enough site to be turned into a decent place, or is it too small? So
probably, yeah, because you have the porter cabin with all of the training inside it. Then you have two football pitches. You have 2 or 3 pitches, I think it is, which the first team use, and then you have the extra pitch that the women's team have their matches on, and I think maybe some of the under-23 games happen there. I'm not sure. And then you have all the little other porter cabins for the media bit. That's fun, where you go to see the press conference and you walk into a little porter cabin and it's like being on a building site. That's excellent. So you could, conceivably, you could do it, and you could move the first team back to Chadwell Heath while you did it. These are all things that are possible, but they just don't want to do them because they don't want to spend the money. Kieran Maguire said it on, I don't know if it was his podcast or what, I just remember his podcast, maybe, I don't know, I listened to it, so maybe it was that. But he was talking about it. He was like, why would you put long-term expenditure on something if you're planning to sell it? Why would you do it? It makes no sense. And so if they're planning to sell it, they're not going to put a long-term expenditure thing, which would be redeveloping a training ground, which will cost 10 years worth of money or whatever, on something they're planning to get rid of in a year and a half, because it's just not what you would do in business. I don't know. It is big enough. It's 100% big enough. It's small, don't get me wrong, but it's big enough. But like everything with West Ham, it's just utilised terribly. Yeah. That's all I have to say on the channel.
That's really sad. I don't know what to say.
No, that was very revealing.
Yeah, man. Fuck. Well, you think I don't know. Man. It's kind of like
Those are the views of Charlie Walsh and not of Hammers Chat or American Hammers TV. Please don't get me, David Sullivan.
Yeah. No, trust me. They don't give a shit about us. But listen, don't you think it would be like flipping a house? Don't you think if you were wanting to fucking sell the goddamn thing, you'd like add that? I mean, you'd actually spend the money on it to actually say, oh, we have this beautiful fucking stadium. We got millions of fucking pounds worth of players. We got a manager. And then, our training ground shit. You don't think the fucking seller or the buyer would be like, well, why don't you fix that first? And then I'll fucking buy the whole package and give you this much money. I don't want to have to come in, buy the fucking thing, and then have to deal with, revamping or rehabilitating a fucking training pitch. Like, that should already be set. You're a fucking Premier League club, no?
Yeah, I mean, you also have the stadium to sell with a club as well, but apparently not. These are just things.
Oh, that's true. I'm just.
How much do you reckon it will get him to get him out of that position? How much do you reckon they'd sell it for? 100 million? 300 million?
Oh, no way.
No, they'll go higher.
Half a
I think
billion?
it would cost 500 million to buy West Ham.
I'd say.
I think.
Maybe 5. They're a London.
Yeah, I think maybe in a very.
London
It may be going really wrong for them, but I think in a subversive way, they're just trying to, in their businessman minds, they just want to maximize the profit every year they own the club. And then they have dreams of selling it to an extremely wealthy owner. And then they make that other profit. And the owner is so wealthy that then they have the money to knock down the stadium.
And that is their dream.
And they want to spend tons of money on the
100%.
It may be possible, but I think that's kind of how they envision it.
I believe that they believe that, and I believe that that's what they hope. And that's why they're not going anywhere, and I think that's why, just like the dreams that they sold us all, they feel that is their dream scenario, and that shit just ain't happening, man. There's not going to be a sheep that comes over like, I want to buy this for you,
They're actually probably good business people in terms of just getting more money in their bank account, but they're terrible football owners.
Yeah, they definitely know how to, finance themselves.
I mean, they make a lot of their money in property, and yet somehow they still manage to lose 20 million on Upton Park.
Somebody's going to fucking smash something like.
I think 350 million is what they would go for.
350 million.
Realistically, I can't see them getting anything. I think 450.
What is their value? Like, what is their personal value? Yeah, anybody know that?
David Sullivan is worth 1.15 billion pounds. So yeah,
These look low. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe 4 or 5.
I don't know. I don't know who pays that much for it. That's the thing I don't know who come into it. I mean, obviously, this is if we don't get relegated. If we get relegated, then it's a whole different kettle of fish whatsoever. But I can't see a club. I can't see an owner, someone coming in and going, "Here is $500 million. No way. No one's paying $500 million for us." 350 to 400 would be my guess. That's listening to other things, but I don't know.
And what's the hearing about? They can't even sell it until 2023 anyway.
Well, that's that thing. Did you see that article in Claret and Hugh? I don't read Claret and Hugh, but the fact that the article got told that someone was like, you should look at it. They said that it was something. The article was titled something like "Have the protesters work or will the protesters work?" And essentially, the reason it's notable is that it had one line in it which said that David Sullivan is considering selling the club. If I think it was the term was if there is a good and rich owner or something along those lines. I don't know. I just can't see it happening. I can't see it happening until, like you say, 2023 or whenever that date is, when they no longer have to fork over any percentage of it to the public. And B, I don't know. Part of me thinks they just want it off their hands because it's too much. It's more hassle than it's worth. Yeah, let's be real. No one's going to come in and go, "Here's 50 million," and they're going to go, "Yeah." Like, it's just not going to happen because it's not.
But I don't know what David Sullivan's day-to-day fucking agenda is. So I really don't know. All I know is that for the most part, he sits at home in his mansion and then he comes and shows up at the matches, right? That's really what he does, and he signs checks and shit like that.
And falls asleep. I think he fell asleep at the last match.
Well, yeah, exactly. So exactly, David. So I don't really know what stresses he would really have of like physically doing stuff and he wants it off his hands, other than the fucking nuisance of just hearing all these people telling him that, I don't even think people are even telling him that there's all this negativity.
I think the nuisance would have to be financial. He'd have to say, like, I envisioned us, I'm totally making up numbers here because I know nothing about the finances, but in his mind, he would earn $83 million a year off West Ham. But then all of a sudden we go down to the championship and he's only earning $27 million a year. Then his businessman mind taps in and he says, that's not enough money worth the headache. So he sells it. And it would cost too much money to get back up to where he could earn that yearly amount. I think that's what would force him to sell.
Yeah. So we have a question here in the chat room. This was actually a Hammers poll that we did. The same question was a Hammers poll that we did the other night. I don't even remember what night it was that we did this. But I'll just ask you guys. So this is from Unknown Driller in the chat room. Basically, would you take going down? This is obviously hypothetical. Would you take going down, like getting relegated, if it meant the board left and we rebuilt with a new owner?
Such a tough question because you never want to root against your club. That just feels antithetical to football supporting or whatever. But these owners have just gotten so terrible. It's so negative. The new stadium just leaves a bad taste in everyone's mouth that they, when they go there, that if there was a way out and it ended well, you'd be in favor of it. But you don't want to end up like Sunderland. You don't want to fall so far down, which is a big possibility. I think it's too big of a gamble to root for, even though your emotions say, I despise these owners, I despise the new stadium, I want this problem fixed. I think it's too big of a risk.
Right?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to take a drop because I feel like we might be like QPR when they dropped. And the only good thing they've got there is Hugo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they have a good midfielder too. We were looking at, but I forget his name.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan Hugo.
Jordan Hugo, yeah, that too.
Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah, the silver lining there could be is that we will get rid of some of the shit that is there, but we have to play some of the kids and some of the youth will have to come through.
We just organically rebuild anyway. I mean, we could obviously, I don't know if Moyes would stick around or would we even want Moyes. But the point is, if we did get relegated, which I don't want, we could just start signing championship players, which Irish Tommy, I wish he was on tonight, he swears by it. He's like, listen, there's a ton of talent in championship that we should be looking at, should have been looking at, and we can stockpile, with a bunch of championship players then like that are hungry, that really want to play at this level, because even if they get relegated, then if we get relegated, boom, they just go back to championship. I mean, that's what they're used to. That's what they're good at. But anyway, that's his opinion. My opinion is that I don't want to get relegated because I don't think we'll ever be able to sell the club for what they want, if we're not in the Premier League. So I say I want us to stay in the Premier League because I'm a West Ham supporter and I don't want to get relegated, even though I did like the last time we were in championship because we won a shitload of games. It was exciting to win all the time. But I would prefer, us survive and continue to hopefully rebuild, and hopefully somebody will come in and say, hey, I want to buy this club and rebuild. So Charlie, what do you think?
Yeah, as much as I loved watching Ricardo Bazte score overhead kicks, I don't know. I don't know. It's a weird one. The thing is it depends who would buy us. That's the truth of the matter for me. Depends who buys us. If it's someone who can come in and really seriously invest, and I don't mean in just the playing squad, I mean invest in the structure of the club, in the facilities of the club, potentially in the stadium as well. If there's someone who could seriously do that, but they only would go for a championship club because that means that's just sort of, they're not willing to pay 500 million for a Premier League team, but they might pay 200 million for a championship team who could be in the Premier League very quickly and they could invest in that, then I would probably say yes. But the thing is that I don't know. Right, it's all hypotheticals because it depends who comes in. And let's be real, Gold and Sullivan are a perfect example of that. When they sold Birmingham City to what's his face, and it went as wrong as it could possibly go for them. There are people out there who will buy clubs who aren't good owners. They aren't fit and proper, as the term is. So it's like, for me, it's talking about who's going to buy the club and that sort of thing. It's completely hypothetical on who actually buys the club. If it were, I don't know, Red Bull, then yeah, I probably would. But if it was,
would you now? That was another big hypothetical that was going around.
I remember I watched the show. When you and Lee had a minor scuffle about it. It was very minor. I felt like it could have broken out into something more. I felt like you gone into it.
Yeah, me and Lee. Listen, I was 2 minutes down the road from him.
When that was the show ended and you started walking, you were like, "You're not making your kids dinner, Lee. I'm coming for you." Obviously, and again, that's a hypothetical about branding and a lot of stuff like that. Obviously, I wouldn't accept them changing their name, for example. I wouldn't accept them that sort of stuff changing the colours. But if it were them, then yeah, I probably would say yes. But
well, we have time for one Hammers poll since they're friends of ours, and I won't be able to do any until, well, I don't think we're going to do any at all for another whole week. So I don't know what Lee has decided he's going to do on Wednesday night. I know that there will be a post-match show with Chris and Irish Tommy. They've been doing a good job at starting that up again. And thank you to all the viewers, because that's probably been one of our most watched shows. West Ham Week in Review with Lee's been doing awesome, and then all of a sudden this post-match show comes around and we're fucking doing much better now. So anyway, I'll be in London and I won't have my computer, so I won't be able to host any shows while I'm away, but I'll be taking a bunch of videos and stuff like that of my bits and travels and so on. But I guess Friday night, Lee is going to host the show and bring me on to do a Deadline Day episode, since that was our very first episode last year, was the Deadline Day episode. It's our year anniversary on Friday, so that'll be cool. So I will be away, but there's other shows on the network that will be popping up. I know Lee will be doing something tomorrow. I just don't know what. And then Friday Night Lights will be off because we're going to be doing the anniversary show, and then Saturday will be another post-match show. Wednesday will be a post-match show. So just stay tuned. And let's do one Hammers poll before we go, since we have a few minutes left. If I can even friggin' pull it up, we will do it. Just bear with me a minute here.
I've got a question for everyone. Are we going to see Jack Wilshere?
No.
Define
no,
C.
I say no. Define C.
Define C. Will we see him in training ground videos and climbing into washing machines? Probably. Yeah, it'd probably be about.
Are we going to see him do full 90 minutes?
No, 90.
No.
Oh, you're mad. You're mad. You're more likely to see Brock Lesnar do a full 90 minutes than you are to see Jack Wilshere do a full 90 minutes. Let's be real about it. Come on now.
Yeah, I make I'd only earn $50 if I won the bet, and I'd pay $500 that he would play a full 90 minutes. That's how.
Or is he going to come back for the last month of the season, completely save us, become the hero?
No.
I wouldn't be opposed to it.
We're shopping him, but not that he'd save us.
All right, so there's, just so you guys know, there's actually 3 that we'll do, because they're all very quick, very easy, and there's 2 that I'm gonna skip because sometimes some of these fan questions that get up here are the hypotheticals. I mean, we've already answered like 5 different ways over, and they've just been asked slightly differently. And there's certain hypotheticals I just get really annoyed with answering over and over again, especially when it comes down to getting relegated, because I don't even like to be talking about getting relegated. And we already answered that question, but there's another question coming up that it's like the same question, but just worded a little bit differently. But anyway, this one says, would supporters contribute to a crowdfunding campaign to purchase the club and make West Ham United a club run by supporters instead of the existing board? And this was from Edward James on Twitter. So would supporters contribute? I guess it's asking, the grammar on these, I don't know, I can't really tell what they're asking here. So is it do we think that the supporters would, or would we support that happening? I mean,
I would support it, but I think you need more money than is possible to buy it from Sullivan in gold. I think it's happened with Real Oviedo in Spain, and it was like a huge success. But I think they were in the 2nd division or 3rd division at the time, and it's happened in other countries. It's happened with a lot of Romanian teams. One team called Timișoara, who actually support and like, but I just don't think it's possible. I think supporters would want to do it, but it would just cost too much money, and you would have to donate too much money for it to happen.
It would take 350,000 West Ham supporters to donate $1,000 to reach the 350 million pound mark that Mr. Recall Big George was saying that it would take to have Mr. Sullivan sell. So it would take 350,000 supporters to donate $1,000, not 100, not 10. $1,000 each. That's a lot of people to reach 350 million. So just keep that in mind. So if for all I know, there's a lot of people out there that are actually talking about this and saying that we should definitely do this or something like it. But unless you got a couple more people in there that are donating extra money, you know what I'm saying, like a couple hundred, dude, there's no way that we'll come up with that money. You're right, David. So I'm all for it, but I just don't see how logistically it could happen. I don't see how realistically it could happen. So what do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I would support it as an idea. For example, if let's say back in the day when they took over, if it was a case of they take over our administration or whatever, you'd probably get it for a hell of a lot cheaper in an administration situation. I'd support it. Portsmouth is the example in England of someone who've done it, and it's done very well for them. They've not shot back up the table like crazy, but the people who actually support the club genuinely love it again. When for a while it was in the doldrums there, but I'm not sure. Like you say, the money thing is just insane. It's just unfeasible at a Premier League level, and I'm not sure how sustainable it would be at a Premier League level either. The amount of money that goes into running a Premier League team is insane.
Yeah, and then you have to vote on like a person to run the damn thing, and then this, that, and every other position.
But that's the point. Yes, of course.
That guy and yeah. Anyway, Ray, are you awake? You look like you're nodding off.
Just about. There's not enough money. There's not enough money to go around because, not only do we need to get 350 just to get rid of the board, you've got another 100 million to spend on the training ground.
Correct. And players and everything else. I mean, that's just to buy the damn thing. It's not to actually run the damn thing.
Yeah.
You don't just give the Sullivan. You don't give him 350 million pounds and say, okay, you got to fork over some money. You got to keep raising money to do things. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
You got to raise 2.5 million to stay in the stadium for 99 years for a start.
Yeah. I mean, that's something where you don't think tickets could cover that.
I mean, probably. And Premier League TV income and stuff.
I'm talking like player wages and salaries and shit like that.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got probably Premier League income, TV income, you've got all that stuff. But I mean, like, I just don't see it being sustainable at a Premier League level.
Well, we can't even use the TV income to buy players yet, can we? So,
see, it's
What did we get for the TVs? 120 million, wasn't it? And we had a net spend of 25 million.
24, I think, last year. 124 million. So yeah, I'm not going to do the relegation thing. So anyway, let's just we didn't talk about Liverpool. There's no real unless we're trying to keep it as positive as possible. So we weren't going to get into it deep. But anyway, we'll start with Ray and go down.
Can we get the match abandoned?
No, because I'm going and I don't want to miss that. I want to
turn the lights off.
I'm a glutton for punishment. So what will be the result against Liverpool on Wednesday night? We're not worrying about scores. Just say West Ham win, Liverpool win, score, draw, or goalless. So let's start with
Liverpool win, which hurts me more than all you three together because I live in.
Yes, you're there. So is it me next? I can't even see. I'm on a different screen here. Yeah. Okay. So I say I'm going. So I'm saying goalless.
Who? Pardon?
I'm saying goalless. So last time I was over, I watched us play Man United, and it was goalless. So, and David Moyes was the manager.
Okay, I mean it's a sorry state of affairs when someone flying all the way from America wants to see a 0-0 draw.
Against Liverpool, man, that would be so exciting to see us shut them down. We would get a clean sheet against Liverpool, the champs. You know what I'm saying? I would be all for that. Now, when I saw us play Man United 2 years ago, and it was 0-0 at nighttime, raining, wet, and nasty, and it was against their B squad, really. And David Moyes played the most boring game I've ever seen. Seriously.
At the moment, Liverpool can play the under-10s and they still beat us.
Well, they didn't beat Shrewsbury, so
yeah, but Shrewsbury are a different kettle of fish. Come on, guys, we're talking about West Ham here.
Yeah.
Shrewsbury.
So anyway, goalless. What's your take?
Oh, Liverpool win.
Okay, David.
Yeah, easy Liverpool win.
You guys.
I think we'll battle. It'll be close for the first 20 minutes. I think Sadio Mane is out. I'm not sure about that. I think Sadio Mane is out. And atmosphere will be pretty tense but strong. But in the end, they'll win 4-1.
Well, I'm gonna break the system here. I'm actually gonna probably break Twitter by I'm gonna click goalless. So there's 647 votes, right? I'm gonna click vote goalless. What percentage you guys think selected goalless?
Just you.
Somehow it was 0%.
Give me one vote.
You guys ready for the big reveal? All right.
It'll be like 4.
2.3. So I'm 2.3% say goalless. Holy shit. 3.9% say score draw. 69.4%. You pessimistic bastards say 7. Wow, good. And then 24%. That's shocking. Say West Ham win. So there you go. And the last poll of the night, with the signing of Souček imminent, potentially, allegedly. Does this spell the end? Yeah, there we go. Does this spell the end? Is my English good? Of Noble at the end of the season. Spell the end of Noble at the end of the season.
He's on his way out. We all know he's on his way out, and we are going to get one more season out of him.
I think at least one more, man.
Yeah, and it will be like a bit player when we need him, which is what he's meant to be this season.
But after what he said on Talk Sport today, do you think that David Moyes will start him again?
Yeah, some of the games, yeah.
I don't think.
Charlie?
I don't know, I was just having a little think. I think just a little one. I'm not known for big things, so I was just having a little one. He'll be around until his contract runs out. He'll forever play at some form. He won't start as frequently as he once has. But at the same time, Thomas Souček could roll up and be absolute codswallop. And then he's back starting again. I think the thing is with Noble against teams like Liverpool, against teams like Manchester United, who you need someone to rock up and just 2-foot a guy. He's going to be the guy, and he should be, because that's the sort of games he should play. Spurs he will play, but he won't exactly be starting as many as he once has, and he shouldn't be. The fact he started so many this year is probably a damning indictment of our transfer policy, regardless. So yeah.
Do you know what I would like to see Noble doing next season? Is being a cup player. So we have Noble play just the cup game, because that will mean more to him. Because I would love to see him lift a trophy, and that means that we can.
Yeah, and maybe he can work on his badges. You know.
Yeah,
and you'd hope. The thing is, you just need the person you play him alongside. I think is more important, because he's run out of legs, but he still has it up here. He still does have a footballing brain. And there are times where he pulls something off, like a pass or a little thing where I'm like, how are you so far ahead of everyone else on the pitch? It's the opposite of what you were saying about Ajeti. It is still there. It's just about who plays alongside him, what formation he plays in. And let's be real, if you want someone to roll up and take a cup seriously, he's the guy. That's amazing. I would love that. I would love to see him just. Mate, then bring on Shrewsbury. We batter him, mate. We've got
exactly. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks again for joining me. And everybody in the chat room, thank you. Steve Mothersoul, I'll be seeing you soon. I'll be seeing you the morning or so. And Neil from Down Under and Wally World and Essex Hammer was in there quite a bit commenting. And Kevin McGuire, Lee's good friend, was in there earlier. And Charlie Walsh, who's that? I don't know. All I know is Recall Big George. Yeah, and a bunch of other people from Periscope and Unknown Driller and Beatbox, etc. There was a lot of people. Also a couple of Facebook comments, so I appreciate that, guys. So anyway, if you like this, please hit the like button, and if you want to join the live chat sometime, please feel free to do so. But you're not going to know when our videos are if you don't hit the notification bell and subscribe to our channel. So please do so. If you're watching us on Periscope, which there were some of you tonight doing that, and Facebook as well, please hop on over to YouTube and click the subscribe button. That would be very much appreciated.
I have a fun time in London, Tim.
Thank you, man. I'm gonna. You know, it's gonna be very crazy. It's gonna be awesome because I'm gonna be meeting a lot of cool people that I've been dying to meet. That I have, like Ray and Charlie here. I'm I'm most excited to meet you guys, dude. That's kind of why I invited you on tonight too. I'm really looking forward to seeing you guys in just a couple of days. So it's awesome. And then yeah, it's gonna be quite the experience, and you get to see 2 matches. That's gonna be awesome because I haven't done that since the 17-18 season. Yeah, anyway, anniversary coming up. We're going to do something special, a giveaway with, yeah, I think we're going to do like a gift certificate to the shop, which is AmericanHammers.net. We have a threadless shop, which has got a ton of cool stuff like Boston Hammers merchandise in there, as well as other supporters groups, logos, and our own designs. We also have a UK-specific shop so that you don't have to worry about duties or taxes. And that's only on our website that you can that stuff. And there's like everything from men's and women's underwear to like beer koozies and all this other cool stuff. So check that out. Also, there's new wallpapers. Yes, dude. Yes, absolutely. You know, and I'm going to be taking a lot of videos, you guys. Don't worry about that. I just don't know what my phone scenario is going to be like with my data and all that other good stuff. Because I'm not bringing a computer and I don't know what the deal is going to be. But I'm going to be trying to at least record stuff on my phone as much as I possibly can, and hopefully maybe pop on Hammers Chat or something, or you know, I'm gonna be sitting down with I know I'm definitely gonna be sitting down with the West Ham Fan TV guys. I'm actually gonna be sitting in front of them. I'm gonna be hanging out with the Hammers Chat guys in the boats, which is awesome. I'm super looking forward to that. First and foremost, going to the West Ham Way pre-match event on Saturday to meet Phil Parks, and he's gonna be there, and that'll be cool to see Phil Parks. And I'm going to give him a scarf. So yeah, that's the other thing I was saying. So sorry. Long story short, if you find me there, okay, I'm going to be wearing like 5 extra scarves, you know, at a time. You know what I mean? I'm going to be stocking. Half my suitcase is full of scarves. All right, American Hammers TV scarves, all our designs. So anyway, if you find me and I have a couple on me, I mean, it's yours. Okay, so just mention that you watch. You know, don't just walk up to me and say, hey, you know, just say, hey, I watch your show. And I'll be like, hey, here's a scarf. And there you go. All right. That's simple. Anyway, like, subscribe. And thanks to Ray from Liverpool and Charlie from North London. Right? Yeah. And David from Boston. And everybody.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right. I'll talk to you guys off the quick. But come on, you Irons.
Come on.